a history of violence. My mom wasn't a villain. Would be open to meeting up with me. I don't remember now who's talking. I want a lawyer!
Hello everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. We do all kinds of things here. We do true crime content, chit chat, SFX makeup, food content, DIY, hauls, vlogs, reviews, excuse me, and most importantly, at least to me, Disney content. I have lots of interests and I want to share them with you. So I know that this video is going to get some hate. Blocked idiots are probably going to come at me with their sock puppet accounts. You know, I don't do this to be popular, and that's fine because those people are at a very low level and we don't have any consideration for them. We don't abide simpletons. Excuse me, I'm gonna be coughing a lot. I don't make a lot of content about Gypsy Rose anymore. I think everyone else that covers her, I think they're doing a great job. I don't really need to chime in, but I wanted to talk about this one thing. And there is actually going to be another video shortly after this because while I was writing the notes for this one, something else came up. Because the girl stays in the drama and we need to talk about it. I just talk about what I want to on my channel. And, you know, if Gypsy Rose comes up, you know, in 2 videos back to back, then she comes up in 2 videos back to back. What do you want me to do about it? You know, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, the haters can suck it as far as I'm concerned. My videos are titled, you have the option not to watch. So there you go. So in this video, I want to talk about the cult of Gypsy Rose. I'm probably going to be using this a lot. No, Gypsy Rose supporters are not an actual cult, but they do suffer from the mass delusion that Gypsy is innocent of any wrongdoing. And I want to add that not all Gypsy supporters, I'm not lumping them all together because some of them just support her, you know, on a base level, and they don't go after people and threaten to hurt their families and stuff. So I'm not talking about those people, okay? But again, they do suffer, the diehards suffer from this mass delusion that Gypsy is innocent of any wrongdoing at all. And anyone that questions or doubts her is evil. We who don't support Gypsy, you know, we think murder is bad. It's just bad, you know? So we're all stupid and evil in their closed eyes. We believe manipulating a mentally challenged young man to do one's dirty work is wrong. We do. And we continue to see signs of her manipulative behavior. It's continuous. Everyone who watched her interrogation saw a woman try to play the part of a sweet, innocent little girl. And yes, that was 10 years ago or whatever. But she was 23. She was an adult. She was formed. And we saw her break character. Everything Gypsy does is performative, akin to a cult leader or a cult figure. Her little veil often slips, like right here.
I have on you, honey. You punch at me, I punch back 10 times harder. Go see a therapist.
And we're going to be talking about this some more in another video. But her supporters think that her manipulative, asinine behavior is acceptable. They don't question or doubt her. like they would a cult leader or would not a cult leader, or like cult followers. And what is a cult? A cult is often associated with some religious movement, like Jody Hildebrandt using Mormonism to try to build her connections cult. But sometimes it's not about religion at all. It's not influenced by a religious belief system. Sometimes it can be about a philosophical or ideological belief, or just a general, strong, unhealthy admiration of a singular person. It's often a parasocial relationship. It's one-sided. An individual has developed a perceived, an imaginary connection to a public figure that public figure encourages, sometimes without being influenced to do so, but usually is encouraged to do so, but sometimes with that influence. Do you know what I'm saying? A cult is a group of those types of individuals, characterized by intense devotion to a leader. These cults involve an emphasis on loyalty and obedience. They use psychological manipulation to snare their prey. And that is precisely what Gypsy Rose has done to her well-behaved little worshipers. It's exactly what she's done. Key characteristics of a cult include a charismatic leadership. I personally do not find Gypsy charismatic, but I can see why others, maybe not so strong-willed or strong-minded, might. She essentially got away with cold-blooded, unaliving someone. She found a way to get away with that brutality. And don't come at me with, she didn't actually do it. She didn't do the act. First of all, you don't know that. And secondly, if it wasn't for her, it would have never happened. She made it happen. She used sex and the promise of a future to get it done. And you don't know how much she was involved in the act, but we know she planned the whole thing. Charismatic means someone possesses an engaging personality, which makes them attractive and appealing to others, usually people who are lacking in their life. Again, I don't find that to be true with Gypsy, but the weak and feeble-minded buy into it. And yes, I did say weak and feeble-minded, and I'm not saying that to insult these people. It's just the way it is. That's her target. That's what she was looking for when she got Nicholas to help her kill her mother. And that's what she is looking for now. That's what she wants now. A cult following of sorts. And she's getting it. I think her supporters think they are trauma bonding with her. They aren't. She has no interest in bonding with any of them. She's not interested in any of them. But yes, they have all been good little piggies. They have been good little piggies, defending her online with absolute loyalty to someone that barely knows or even cares that they exist. When there is proof everywhere that she has lied consistently, but they choose to be willfully ignorant, they chose to ignore information that exposes the truth because it doesn't align with what they want to believe. They want to maintain a narrative they've conditioned themselves to hold on to believe, because it is what bonds them with Gypsy. And like it or not, she's famous. And these people, these people that go crazy over her want a piece of that. They want a piece of that in some way. They aren't unaware of the truth. they willfully choose to ignore it to where they're convinced of the truth is not what we believe it to be. They know about all of the available information and sources, but they refuse to acknowledge it. It's a conscious choice to remain uninformed. It's used to maintain a certain narrative, avoid responsibility, or protect themselves from a truth they don't want to believe. Another characteristic of a cult is control and manipulation. No, it doesn't seem like Gypsy is trying to control her supporters' lives per se. In fact, they can kick the bucket right now, and I doubt she would even blink an eye. But it's a different type of control. And manipulation, you love me now because of who you think I am. Let's keep that going. And no matter what she does, they're going to believe she's that person. Intense devotion. I've been threatened. They've gone after a lot of anti-Gypsy creators because their little feelings get hurt when we speak against their queen. Hostility to dissent. Yes, they do this. If you were a Gypsy supporter and then you looked at the big picture and you changed your mind, you realize, oh yeah, there's something up here. You are their absolute enemy. Now, under U.S. law, there is not a specific definition of a cult, and they aren't actually illegal. By themselves, they're not illegal. There are a lot of cults operating in the U.S., more than 3,000 last count, who aren't outwardly breaking any laws. The public has been pretty divided when it comes to Gypsy, but not evenly divided when it comes to her. It seems most people see her as a villain. I look at her as a villain. The Hulu series, The Act, did a lot to, make Gypsy look like a sympathetic character. But that's all she was on that show. A character. Just a character. A fictional character. Joey King did a great job, but it was a performance. A fictional character based on a real person is not a real person. Court documents, interviews, her interrogation tells a much different story. The claims that Dee Dee had Munchausen by proxy, it's extremely weak. All you have to do is look. That's all you have to do. It was a scam for money. It was malingering. It was for money and charity. Those who suffer from MBP are attention and sympathy seeking, with monetary and material gain being an added secondhand benefit. Munchausen by proxy was never brought up. It was never brought up until her attorney spun that story. During her interrogation, she knew that Dee Dee was dead. She knew she was safe from her. She didn't have to be afraid of her anymore. She could have told them everything. Everything she claims now, she could have told them then. Gypsy Rose may or may not have had a perfect life. We can't say for sure because we weren't there. But the internet is idolizing a killer, and that is a fact. Even if it's a small percentage of the internet. Dee Dee's death was a cold-blooded, calculated, planned crime. Nothing Dee Dee allegedly did to Gypsy, and I did say allegedly, justifies what happened to her. And I know that Gypsy claimed she didn't want to do it in a way that hurt her, where she would feel pain. But I'm sorry, brutally stabbing someone and trying to saw off their head, I imagine is painful. I've never been stabbed before, but I can only guess. I'm not one that says Gypsy should go away, get off of social media, etc. I think You know, she can do what she wants, okay? But she needs to realize, at the very least, for the safety of her baby, these people that idolize her, that worship her, that are just, oh, Gypsy, Gypsy, they're dangerous. They are a danger to her. They are more dangerous than anyone that doesn't like Gypsy. It is disturbing how people outwardly praise her for what she did. I have seen plenty of praise for her. Praise for what she did. Comments that say her mom deserved it, etc. That's not okay. Those people need to be looked into. I wanted to kill my control and abusive mother on more than one occasion, but I walked away. I left. I was scared too. I read an article that said conspiring with Nicholas to kill Dee Dee was a last-ditch effort. No, it was not. I know she's tried to answer the question of why she didn't just walk away, but her responses to that fall flat. She was pretty well spoken. You saw her in the interrogation. She could have gotten help. She chose murder. She chose that. She did. There are several theories out there as to why she wanted Dee Dee dead. I think it's because the jig was up. But all of us with a brain know it was not her last-ditch effort. She could have walked out that door with Nicholas. And people say, well, she couldn't because of this and that. Quit it. It's silly. She didn't want that. She wanted Dee Dee gone. She wanted her dead. And, you know, like I said, maybe because their little scheme was going to be, you know, coming to an end. Maybe because she just hated her mom and wanted her dead. Sure, Gypsy allegedly endured years of mistreatment by her mom. But the more you really look into it, look at those records, look at the documents, the harder that all is to believe. But the cult, the following, they believe every bit of it. And it's sick. It's almost as sick as killing someone. And I've read articles where they say things like, it's the younger generation supporting Gypsy. They're misguided. No, I'm sure it is to an extent. There's a lot of young people following her. But there are some old-ass women that straight up worship Gypsy. You know? Another thing, at least for me, that makes it difficult to believe any of her trauma is real, she has fully embraced fame. Like she says, oh, I don't like it. I'm just a normal girl. But being a social media sweetheart, she loves it. That's not at all good for a trauma survivor. Let's say all these things did happen to her, and then she went to prison for 8 years and came out famous. She's had no real downtime, no real life to process the alleged trauma. Sure, she's in therapy, at least for the sake of her little Lifetime show. But I just don't think that jumping from one prison to another prison to another prison is good for anyone. And yes, I'm calling that fame a prison. Who experienced the kind of trauma she has claimed to have experienced. She's not behaving like a trauma victim. That's just my opinion. And yes, I know that people react to trauma differently, but there are tells. Every CA survivor shows there's certain tells, and those tells can be rehearsed, you know, by someone manipulative that wants to trick people, that wants to fool the masses. Speaking of manipulation, just look at how she uses that baby prostitute voice to talk to the officers. Yes, she does have a high voice, but she spreads it on a little thicker when she's, when she's trying to get sympathy, attention, adoration. And she knows exactly why she's there. She acts like, oh, I don't know why I'm here. She knows why she's there. She's just playing a game. And I feel like she thinks the little girl routine works for her. But I don't see it that way. The cops are playing with her like she's playing with them. They probably want to vomit after each interaction with her because they're so disgusted. Check out this clip.
Are you doing okay there?
Yes, sir.
You staying warm enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you need any water or anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Anyone who doesn't see this as a performance is silly.
Hello, Gypsy. Hi, I'm Lieutenant All. I brought Nick in, and Nick was just he was concerned about you, so I want to check to make sure you're fine. Looks like you're doing good.
Is he alright?
And he is fine as well. He was very concerned about you, and he wanted to make sure you knew that.
Tell him
So-
I'm okay.
Perfect, that's what I'll do. So,
And tell him they're treating me nice.
excellent, I will do that. Yeah, you got the nice couch. You got the nice room. We gave you the nice room.
Nice fishy room.
This, there it is. It doubles as a pillow rug. Nice. All right.
Okay, thank you so
You bet.
much.
Now, the reason I'm putting these clips in here, excuse me, is because this is readily available, and her cult members could easily see this on a million different YouTube channels. And the manipulation is so evident, it's so obvious, it's so clear, but they refuse to see it. They refuse, flat out refuse. They can explain it all away with what they seem to believe. But those of us with the ability to think can read right through it. Thank God. And I'm not going to insert it here. You all know the part when she's with the police officer, how she's going on and on about her trip with her mom to Universal, the Harry Potter thing. She knows her mom is dead. Zero emotion when she's talking about her mom. It takes a cold-hearted individual to act like that, in my opinion. But to her supporters, that's okay. It's okay because it's our queen, Gypsy. This next clip is, it's going to be long. It's when Detective Hancock comes in to talk to her, and she's trying to work him. She's trying hard to work him from minute one. And maybe she should have gave him a lap dance. And for the people who can't read right through that, I have some oceanfront property in Kansas to sell you. I do.
Okay, Gypsy, this is Stan.
Hi, Gypsy.
Let you guys
Hi.
talk.
I'm Detective Hancock. I'm with the County Sheriff's Office. How are you today? Good. Doing all right? Good. Good. All right. Well, Gypsy, I'm here and I'm going to get a little bit of information from you. So, since this is the first time I've ever met you, okay? So, what is the correct spelling of your first name?
It's Gypsyrose. And my middle initial is A.
Okay.
And my last name is Blancchard.
Blancha.
Blancharde is Blanchard.
Blanchard. Okay, with an E. Okay. All right. And your date of birth, Gypsy?
Is 7/27/1995. On here they have
Okay.
91 because maybe it's a long story, but
Okay, sure.
me and my mother are Hurricane Katrina survivors.
Okay.
And my birth certificate was washed away in Katrina.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they messed up a long time when they messed up the paperwork, and it said 1991, but it's actually 95.
Okay. And that put you at how old then?
I would be really 19, but on here it's my Medicaid. My medical insurance has 23.
Okay. All right. So how old actually are you? Let's get that.
19.
19. Okay.
It's all screwed.
Yeah, absolutely. Gypsy, do you know your social security number?
I Unfortunately, I don't. I brought my card with me,
Okay.
but it's at my boyfriend's house.
Okay, we'll get with that later then. All right. Now, how long have you actually lived there in Missouri?
In Missouri since 2006.
2006?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Do you work anywhere?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Never have worked since you've been in Springfield. Did you work down in Louisiana or anything?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Do you have family down there in Louisiana?
I have some, but unfortunately we're not on good speaking terms.
Okay. All right. And now, do you have any family here in Missouri? I'm sorry, we're in a different state. So.
It's okay. I have my mom that lives in Missouri.
Okay. And is that it, or do you have anybody else?
Does friends count or not really?
No, like biological, like brother or sister, siblings, nothing like that. Okay, so are you an only child then? Okay, all right. What's some things that you like to do? I mean, what kind of hobbies do you like?
I love art.
Love art?
I love
Okay.
to go to the movies. I love animals.
Okay.
Just different things like that.
Good. Well, Gypsy, we are here investigating something, so I do need to talk with you about some things, okay?
I'm thankful because I have no idea why I'm here.
Okay.
Nobody will tell me anything.
Yeah, that's fine, and that's kind of why we're here, to kind of help you out with that, okay? So, I am going to just read your Miranda to share real quick, okay? And as I'm reading this, if you don't understand something, I want you to stop me and say that you don't understand, okay? It's not being rude, it's not implied or anything, okay? And just let me know. How much schooling do you have?
Unfortunately, I was homeschooled, but my education is kind of scattered, so I have the basic of a third grader.
Okay. Do you know how to read and write okay and everything? Okay, good.
Not so much spell very good, but I can read.
Okay. How would you say your comprehension level is?
Good.
Good. Okay. All right. Okay. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer, have your lawyer present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any question if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Did you understand everything that I read you? Okay. Do you have a cell phone number?
No.
No, not at all. Did you have a home phone?
My mom's home
Okay.
phone.
What's that number?
417-833-8501.
Okay. 8501. Okay. Do you ever do anything on the computer? Do you ever play games or anything on the computer? Do you ever mess with the computer or anything like that?
I don't really have a computer.
Okay.
No.
Did you ever have a cell phone that you played around on or anything like that? No? Okay. No laptop or
No.
cable
My
fire or
mom
anything?
didn't let me use mine because she was like, it's unsafe. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Why did she feel like that was unsafe?
My mom tended to be overprotective.
Okay.
But,
Did she?
yeah.
Okay. All right. That's understandable. I want to tell you that what I've got to talk to you about, if you're involved in this, then you need to tell me that now.
Mhm.
Okay?
I'm completely 100% honest.
And let me talk for just a second, okay? But if you're involved in this, then you need to be honest with me and you need to tell me now and not wait till later. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want you to understand that there's just some things going on that you need to be made aware of, and I think that you're aware of it, okay?
Okay.
All right? My concern at this point, let me back up with something. You're here, do you know where you're at right now?
Yes.
Okay, where are you at right now?
I'm at the Waukesha Police Department.
Okay. All right, and how did you lived in Missouri at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how did you get from Missouri to here?
Not but a week ago. It was it all started when I met my boyfriend Nick.
Okay.
Okay. And we met on an online dating website. My mom had a laptop, and so I used hers.
Okay.
But
Let me back up for just a second, okay? Earlier when I said, let's be honest with each other, okay? I'll be honest with you as long as you're honest with me, okay? And I want you to understand that your honesty goes a long ways, okay? You don't want something in this nature to be like a big snowball. We'll use that as an example, okay? You don't want that snowball to be so big that, you know how when you pack a snowball and it's real small, and what happens when you start rolling it down a hill?
It's bigger.
It's bigger, okay? And what happens if you start telling lies? They get bigger,
Bigger and bigger,
you don't
bigger.
remember which ones you said and which ones you told, and as soon as that thing gets so big, it goes down the bottom of the hill and it crashes into a lot of people,
Right.
okay? I mean, a lot of people, all right? And it hurts a lot of people, right? Because it's so big and it crashes and hurts them.
Right.
Now, if you're telling the truth, that's not going to happen, isn't that right?
Right.
Okay, so that's kind of why I want you to be honest with me about this, okay?
Absolutely.
About some things, all right?
Absolutely.
So we need to, I'm here, okay? Because I don't think that this is something that you, the intention wasn't there. You know, I don't think you're a bad person. I really don't. I think that you're a smart person, okay? I think that you, you know, sometimes you get dealt bad hand, and I think sometimes that's what's happened with you, okay? And I want you to understand that you need to be honest with me, and if you're involved in anything that I'm about ready to tell you, then you need to tell me, okay? Your mom's dead, okay? Now, what I want to ask you
Wait,
is,
what?
your mom's passed away, okay, and she's deceased, all right? Now, what I want to ask you, did you have involvement in this? Okay. Just,
No.
hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay? I want you to understand something, okay? Remember the snowball that we talked about? You remember the pencil that we talked about?
That's the performance of a wannabe cult leader. If you watch this and you buy in to her lies and manipulation, you need help. You are being bamboozled. This young lady knew why she was there. She knew when to turn on the waterworks. She knew when to turn on the baby voice. She tried to use being girlish and feminine to manipulate the cops, similar to how she manipulated Nicholas, but of course, not exactly the same. Do I think Nicholas is innocent? Absolutely not. I personally think he's where he should be, and I know I'm in the minority of the people who are watching this video. He is a dangerous person in my opinion. But this person, Gypsy, is more dangerous. She's more dangerous. She had all her followers, her family, the men she's known, all fooled. She's got them all fooled to this day.
Your mom's dead, okay? Now, what I want to ask you
Wait,
is,
what?
your mom's passed away, okay? And she's deceased, all right? Now, what I want to ask you, did you have involvement in this? Okay? Just,
No.
hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay? I want you to understand something, okay?
Those few seconds right there show me all I need to know about how much of a snake she is. And I know snakes. So, no, maybe her little club isn't a cult in its classic definition, but it is a group of mindless followers who hang on and trust every word from her. You know, without question. And that is very dangerous. And they are proud of that. They're proud of it. And they really need to know following a murderess like Gypsy is nothing to be proud of. It's really not. Read a book. Do something. It means they have found nothing in their own life to live for. They have nothing, so they have to grasp on to whatever bit of Gypsy they can get. It's alarming. Gypsy is not a hero or someone to look up to. She absolutely is not. She's not someone for little girls to admire. She's not a role model. She's not any of those things. She could have been. She could have been had she done the right thing when she came out of prison, but she chose to, you know, be Little Miss Rockstar. But that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. And hi, haters. And I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.